Most people think that having a child is equal to doing the following four things: get them dressed, feed them, wash them, and put them to bed. At best, it is valid until having a child. When the child enters your life, you eventually understand that relationship weighs more important than the sum of the last four things. The core of parenting is the relationship you have with your child. If people were plants, the relationship would be the soil. A healthy relationship supports growth. Otherwise, a child's sense of security is compromised. When they grow up, it will affect the next generation. Your parent legacy. In her famous book called The Book You Wish Your Parents Had Read, and Your Children Will Be Glad That You Did, author Philippa Perry argues that your parenting legacy plays an essential role in the relationship with your child. As the parents, if, when you were growing up, you were, for the most part, respected as a unique and valuable individual, given enough positive attention, and had rewarding relationships with your family members, you will be able positively to contribute to your family and your society. It will be less painful for you to examine your childhood. If you did not have a childhood like this, and that is the case for a large proportion of us, looking back on it may bring emotional discomfort. Despite the discomfort, if we do not look at how we were brought up and its legacy, it can come back to bite us by passing it on to our children. Let's look at a real-life example by the psychotherapist Tay's story with her daughter Emily. One day, when Emily was nearly 7 years old, I shouted to her while she was stuck on a climbing frame and needed help to get off. I told her to get down, and when she said she could not, I felt furious. She eventually did. Next time, we were at the zoo, and Emily fears to climb another frame. This time, instead of sitting on a bench looking at my phone, I stood by the frame and helped, encouraged her what to do, and she did. When she got down, she said, "Why didn't you help me last time?" When I was little, Nana told me to be careful all the time, treated me like a princess. As a result, it made me feel incapable of doing anything for myself, and I ended up with no confidence. I don't want that to happen to you, which is why I didn't want to help when you asked to be lifted off the climbing frame last week. However, I was overcome with anger and I took it out on you, which wasn't fair. Emily looked up at me and said, "Oh, I just thought you didn't care." "Oh no," I said, "I care. But at that moment, I didn't know that I was angry at Nana and not at you. I am sorry." As it is evident in this story, your child's behaviour is threatening to trigger your past feelings of despair, longing, loneliness, jealousy, or neediness outside of your awareness. And so you unknowingly take the easier option. Rather than emphasizing with what your child is feeling, you short circuit to being angry or frustrated or panicked. Spend time to think about what it may have felt like for you as a baby or a child around the same age as your child. Will help you develop empathy for your child. That will help you understand and feel with them when they behave in a way that triggers you into wanting to push them away. Another critical aspect of children do what we do philosophy is talking to ourselves. We often have a sort of continual chatter in our head. Maybe you are saying to yourself, "I can't trust anyone. I'm hopeless. I'm never good enough. I should just give up." Or, "I am useless." All of these reflect in your behaviour and in turn affect your child. Example from real life. Elaine is the mother of 2 children and works as an art gallery assistant. She has thought of failure in her head. "I shouldn't try something because it won't work. I'll be bad at it. I'll embarrass myself." Elaine also knows that she inherited this mindset from her mother. Her mother was a worrier, has never felt good enough, has a lot of negativity. Fortunately, Elaine has learned to deal with her inner critic, and she was determined not to pass it on to her children. She overrides her fears not to discourage her kids, to show them it's not so bad to fail. Elaine has taken up painting again, despite the voice telling me to give up. Rather than judging what she paints, she trains herself to notice what she enjoys about it and which bits of each painting please her. If we take Elaine's example, we can draw these lessons. 1. First, recognize the voice. 2. Don't engage with it or argue with it. 3. Expand your comfort zone. 4. Being aware of the dangers of passing your inner critic on to your child will give you an extra incentive to be mindful of it. Feelings. As a human being, we feel before we think, and in this regard, a baby is a pure feeling, a bundle of feelings. Maybe you have not experienced your feelings witnessed and understood by your parents, but it is a fundamental prerequisite of human beings. If a child knows they will be seen and soothed, but not judged by you, they are more likely to tell you what is going on for them. If there is one essential tip, it is this: do not get into a battle about what a child is feeling. Your 8-year-old might say, "I don't want to go to school." You are going, and that's that. But saying, "You hate school right now, don't you?" is more comfortable for your child to hear. It opens up the dialogue rather than shutting it down. You should take their feelings seriously. Consider them when making decisions, and soothe the feelings, not by denial or distraction, but by acknowledgement and understanding.